authorized artistic restaurant is now used. Silence regarding John. Honorable Adriano is now proceeding.
Court is now asleep. Please call the case.
Arraignment criminal case number 1-5. People of the Philippines versus Tutuban for violation of Section 28 of RA 9165 for disposition of dangerous drugs.
Appearance for the prosecution.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I am Attorney Kenneth Montero, City Prosecutor, respectfully appearing for the state.
Appearance for the defense.
Today, Your Honor, I am Attorney Arnie Baclohan, Defense Counsel, appearing for the grounds accused for Mr. Principal Tutuban.
Counsel for the defense. Have you told your client regarding arraignment?
Yes, Your Honor, we will be ready to talk about it.
Is the accused around?
The accused is here, Your Honor.
Court interpreter, arraign the accused.
Do you understand English, Mr. Tutuban? Okay, I already information in English. People of the Philippines versus Principal Tutuban for proposition of dangerous drugs committed as follows. That are about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, November 9, 2023, in the city of Lapu-Lapu, province of Cebu, Philippines, and within the jurisdiction of the Honorable Court, above being accused without authority of law, the police and memory, the district of the total section control, custody, 3 families of Cebu, itself, the file, the state, containing photographs of methamphetamine and hydrochloride and dangerous drugs in the violation of
Do you understand the allegation in the information?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your plea? Pleading beyond the record to the accused, duly assisted by the counsel, we did not guilty for the crime of possession of dangerous drugs. Pursuant to Section 11 Republic Act 9165, the information was read to him in English, a language known and understood by him. The accused further manifested to the court that the fully understood to the allegation is free. Are the prosecution and the defense ready to proceed with the plea trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
We're ready.
Please proceed to the plea trial. Are parties willing to agree to enter to the plea bargaining?
Your Honor, I have conferred the accused and he is going to plead guilty to the lesser offense of Republic Act, Section 11 Republic Act 1965.
Well, the prosecution and the defense agree to this.
Your Honor, the prosecution does not desire to enter the plea bargaining.
Let's proceed to the stipulation of facts. Alright, in view of the inability of the parties to enter into a plea bargaining, let us proceed with the plea trial. We will begin with the proposed stipulation of facts. Any objection from the parties?
None, Your Honor.
None, Your Honor.
Okay, let's proceed. Let the prosecutor hear stipulation first.
Thank you, Your Honor. With the counsel, with the court's permission, I will now proceed. Will the defense agree that the case falls under the interpretation of this honorable court?
Admitted.
The prosecution submission that the incident occurred with the territorial jurisdiction of this court is admitted and the stipulation number 1 proceed.
Will the defense agree that the accused Principal Tutuban, the person herein arraigned, is the same person charged in the information?
Admitted.
The identity of the accused is admitted and stipulation number 2 proceed.
Will the defense agree that the accused of legal age, Filipino, single, and a resident of Dumala Village, Lapu-Lapu City?
Admitted.
The personal circumstances of the accused are admitted and the stipulation number 3 proceed.
Will the defense agree that on November 9, 2023, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the accused without authority of law did then and willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously having in his possession, control, and custody 3 Dixon transparent plastic packets containing 15 grams of methamphetamine hydrochloride in violation of Section 11 and RA 9165?
Denied.
Will the defense admit that the same day the accused received a search warrant served by the superintendent, the one with a close issued by Judge Nico?
Admitted.
The receipt of the search warrant is admitted and estimation number 5 received.
Is the accused willing to admit the authenticity of the search warrant as well as the contents therein as occurred correct to the best of his personal knowledge?
Admitted.
The authenticity of the search warrant as well as its content is admitted and estimation number 6 received.
No further stipulations, Your Honor.
Okay, any manifestation consent?
Your Honor, we manifested for the record the faithfulness and genuineness of the stipulations.
Court interpreter, please note down conclude. Court interpreter, please take note of the estimation. Let us now proceed to the defense.
Your Honor. So, will the prosecution admit that all the necessary personnel are present during the search?
Denied.
Will the prosecution admit that a media representative is present during the search?
Admitted.
Will the prosecution admit that there are barangay representative during the search?
Admitted.
Again, prosecutor, will the prosecution admit that a media representative is present during the search?
Admitted.
Again, will the prosecution admit that a media representative is present during the search?
Denied.
Will the prosecution admit that after the search and seizing the evidence, it was properly submitted to or presented to the court?
Admitted. Denied.
No more stipulations, Honorable Judge.
Okay, any manifestation consent?
Well, we manifest the faithfulness and genuineness of the stipulation.
Okay, there is no judicial evidence. Please proceed to the other testimony. Please proceed to factual and legal issues. We now proceed to the determination of factual and legal issues of these cases. Consent.
Your Honor, the prosecution would like to raise the factual issue of whether or not the absence of media during the search invalidates the arrest and takes the evidentiary value of the seized articles.
All consent for the defense.
The absence of media during research invalidates the arrest and takes the evidentiality value of the seized articles.
We now proceed to the legal issues.
Your Honor, we propose two legal issues which are as follows. First, whether or not the seized packets of methamphetamine hydrochloride in the accused search residence rendered the accused guilty of the possession of dangerous drugs under Section 11 of RA 9165. Number two, whether or not the absence of media during the search invalidates arrest and takes the evidentiary value of the seized articles.
Your Honor, we agree to the legal issue and laws applicable as proposed by the public prosecutor.
Okay, let's proceed to the pre-marking of evidence. Okay, so we will now proceed with the pre-marking of exhibit. Prosecution may start.
Your Honor, we would like to present the following documentary and object evidence and have it marked as follows. The first exhibit A, is the search warrant. Exhibit B, the black shoebox. Exhibit 3, the 3 itself package of shampoo. And the exhibit D is the PNP crime lab result.
Mark as exhibit.
That will be all, Your Honor.
How about the defense?
Well, Your Honor, we would like to refer to the search warrant that was presented by the public prosecutor. That's our evidence, Your Honor.
Mark as an exhibit.
That will be all, Your Honor, for further exhibits.
Let's proceed to the witness to be presented. For the prosecution, who are the witnesses to be presented?
Your Honor, be presenting two witnesses for the prosecution. PO1 J. Soriano, the officer of conducting the search, and J. Lord and Lilia, our expert witness, the forensic chemist who listed the seized articles.
Since the prosecution will be presenting two witnesses, the court will give you a two-trial day. How about for the defense? How many witnesses will be presented?
Your Honor, we will be presenting one witness for the defense, the barangay attorney.
For the defense, the court will give you a one-trial day. Is that okay?
Yes, we are trying with one trial date for one witness, Your Honor.
Okay, let's proceed to the schedule for trial. Alright, we will now proceed to the sitting for the schedule for the trial. For the prosecution, we will see the trial on May 3 and May 9. Are you available on those dates, Fiscal?
Yes, we are available on those dates, Your Honor.
Defense counsel, are you available on those dates?
Yes, Your Honor.
We will see the schedule for the hearing on May 12. Are you available on that date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Fiscal, are you available on that date?
Yes, Your Honor.
The trial is now scheduled. See you on those dates. Session is adjourned.
All right. RTC Branch 1 7th Judicial Region is now in session. Silence hereby ordered. Honorable Angelica Ino.
Please be seated. The court is now session. Please call the case.
Call of criminal case number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. People of the Beneduins versus Cotoba. A criminal case of possession of dangerous drugs under Section 11 of RA 165.
Appearance.
Good day, Your Honor. I am Attorney Kenneth Montejo, Civic Prosecutor, respectfully appearing for the state.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I am Arnie Mamulat, Defense Counsel, appearing for the accused Mr. Kutuba.
Is the prosecution ready for that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready for trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Prosecutor, please state your case.
Your Honor, Prince Luke Cotubat is accused of committing the crime of possession of dangerous drugs under Section 11 of RA 9165. That on or about 2 o'clock in the afternoon of November 9, 2023, in the city of Lapu-Lapu, province of Cebu, and within the jurisdiction of this honorable court, the above being accused without authority of law, did then, under willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously have in total possession, control, and custody, 3 transparent milk, hit-sealed packets of methamphetamine hydrochloride, a dangerous drug weighing 15 grams in violation of Section 11 of RA 9165.
Defense counsel, please state your case.
Your Honor, what happened here is the prosecution didn't provide media representative during the search. And also, after the search and the seizure of the articles, the evidence, they failed to make a return or present the pieces of evidence to the court.
I would like to inform everyone that if any time anyone in the room other than your counsel tell you what to say and tries to influence your answer in any way, you are to immediately inform the court. And also, if at any time during this hearing you would like to speak with your lawyer, please let the court know and we will give you the opportunity to privately confer with him and her. Okay, we will now proceed to the presentation of the witness. Counsel for the prosecution, you may now call your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to call my first witness, PO1 J. Soriano.
Court interpreter, please swear in the witness.
Mr. Witness, place your right hand. To you, Mr. Soriano, swear that the evidence that you will give in a case not guilty shall be truth, the whole truth, and the nothing but the truth. So help you God? Yes. Juliano Picares, age single, Filipino, and resident of Barangay Maricunton, Sundian site in the Station Court.
Counsel, what is the purpose of testimony of the witness?
Your Honor, the purpose of Mr. Juliano's testimony is to prove that, first, the respondent is the owner of the search house in this criminal case for possession of dangerous drugs. Second, that on November 9, 2023, the accused was in his dwelling when a search and seizure was performed. 3. The elements of possession of dangerous drugs under Section 11 RA 9165 are present in this case. 4. The chain of custody was sufficiently maintained. 5th, witness will identify documents and testify on facts and circumstances to prove that the commission of the crime by accused Fritzlo Totoba.
Any comment from the defendant?
None, Your Honor.
Proceed, counsel.
Alright. Mr. Witness, can you deal this court why you are here today?
I'm here today to testify the truth about the transpired during the search and seizure conducted in the accused dwelling on November 9, 2023.
Mr. Witness, you mentioned about the search and seizure in the accused house. Can you tell us what happened during that time?
Yes, Ms. Khan. On November 9, 2023 at 2 in the afternoon, our team led by Police Superintendent Juan de la Cruz went to the accused house to serve the search warrant. When the accused let us at his dwelling, we did first conduct the search of the first floor of the house and we are not able to find anything. So we proceeded to the second floor of the house and we met during that time where P.O. Giro Villa and the Barangay Tanos who were witnesses. On the second floor, I first started searching in the bathroom. I did not find anything there. As I went to the bedroom, which turned out to be the accused bedroom, I found a blazer and shirts there. On the top of the blazer, I saw a black shoebox, and inside it, I found 3 heat-sealed packets of shampoo.
Alright, you mentioned you went there as a team. Can you tell this court what your specific participation was?
Yes, Ms. Khan. I was designated searcher at the time.
What about the rest of the people who went inside?
P.O. Gillard was the designated recorder and the 3 barangay tenants were witnesses.
You mentioned that they were with you during the search. Can you clarify for this court where exactly they were when you were doing the search?
As soon as I started my search, they were watching me, starting from when I searched the first floor, up to when I went up to the second floor and I finally found the seized articles. They were with me in the entire time.
So there were only five of you in the house doing the search?
I apologize, Ms. Khan. I want to clarify that the accused was also with us during that time, and we noticed that he was restless when we got to the second floor.
You mentioned that you found 3 packets of what was then suspected as shampoo in a black shoebox on the top of the person. Is that correct?
Yes, Ms. Khan, that is correct.
Can you tell this court, Mr. Witness, what did you do after you found the packets?
I handed it over to P.O. Gillard for due recording.
You mentioned that you handed it to P.O. Gillard. Did you see him do the recording?
Yes, and so did the 3 barangay tenants.
Can you tell this court, Mr. Witness, what happened, if any, after that?
After that, we immediately went to PNP Crime Lab to turn over the seized articles.
You mentioned that you went to the PNP Crime Lab to turn over the seized articles. What happened, if any, when you arrived?
We handed over the seized articles to forensic officer, General Villa.
Mr. Witness, can you tell this court why you went to the PNP Crime Lab?
To have the seized articles tested.
After you handed over the seized articles, what happened, if any?
We saw the forensic officer receive articles and he told us to come back for the result the day after.
Are you able to tell this court who the forensic officer was?
Yes, the forensic officer was Jailer William.
And did you come back for the result?
Yes, we did, and the result were already available.
You said we. Does that mean that you were not alone when you went there?
Yes, Fiscal. With me during that time were Otto Gilbertia and Superintendent Juan de la Cruz.
Can you tell this court what the result were?
The results show that the articles tested positive, proving that the seized articles were the methamphetamine hydrochloride, or commonly known as shampoo.
After you learned about the results, what happened after that? If any?
We filed information against Prince of Cotoba for possession of dangerous drugs under Section 11 of the Republic Act 9165.
That will be all for the direct testimony of the witness, Your Honor.
Counsel for the defense, please proceed to the cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Soliano, when did you conduct the search together with your buddy Mr. Apanya and the Barangay?
We conducted the search on November 9, 2015 at 2 p.m. exactly.
Mr. Zeleno, is the accused present the whole time of searching and seizing the evidence?
Yes.
Who found the 3 sachets of alleged methamphetamine hydrochloride?
I did.
Okay. In which part of the house did you find the evidence?
At the living room, inside the black shoebox under the sofa.
Counsel for the prosecution, you may now call your second witness. Court interpreter, please swear in the witness.
The witness, please raise your right hand. Do you, Mr. Gilbert Williams, swear that the evidence that you will give in the case now pending will be truth, the whole truth, and the nothing but the truth, so help me God?
Counsel, what is the purpose of the testimony of the witness?
Your Honor, the purpose of Mr. Gilbert Villar testimony is to prove that the seized articles is positive of methamphetamine hydrochloride.
Okay, proceed, counsel.
Can you please tell this court your full name, age, nationality, civil status, address, and occupation?
Yes, Fiscal. My name is Jerry William, 40 years old, Filipino, single resident of Barangay Miguelito, currently assigned to Station 3 of Lapu City.
Mr. Witness, can you tell this honorable court why you are here today?
I am here today to testify about what transpired during the search and seizures conducted in the case dwelling on November 9, 2023.
How long have you been working as a forensic chemist?
I have been working as forensic chemist for almost 15 years.
Can you briefly describe your educational background and any relevant training you have been received in forensic chemistry?
I hold a bachelor degree in chemistry from the University of the Philippines and master degree in forensic science from Ateneo de Manila. I have also completed specialized training in drug analysis of forensic toxicology.
Are you certified or licensed in your field? If so, by which organization?
Yes, I am. I am certified forensic chemistry by the American Board of Criminalistic and licensed by Professional Regulations Commissions, PRC in Philippines.
How many cases involving the analysis of controlled substances have you worked on your career?
I have worked on approximately 500 cases involving the analysis of controlled substances.
What is your role as a forensic chemist in relation to the cases involving controlled substances?
My role is to analyze substances submitted as evidence to determine if they are controlled substances, to identify their chemicals composition, and to provide detailed record of my findings.
Could you explain the standard procedures you follow when you receive a substance for analysis?
When I receive substances for analysis, I first ensure If it is properly labeled and sealed, I document the conditions of evidence, assign a unique case number, and enter into the laboratory chain of custody. Then I proceed the analysis following standard operating procedures.
What steps do you take to ensure the integrity and chain of custody of the evidence from the time it was received until it is analyzed?
I maintain detailed record of person who handles the evidence. Use temper evident sales and store the evidence in secret. Access control environment to ensure integrity through the process.
Were you involved in the analysis of the substance related to this case?
Yes, I personally conducted the analysis of the substance in this case.
How did you receive the substances? And question.
I received the substances from the evidence custodian who delivered them and sealed labeled packages.
Can you describe the packaging and labeling of the evidence when you first received it?
The evidence was sealed in clear plastic bag labeled in the case number, date, and initial of the law enforcement officer who controlled it.
What test did you perform on the substances to determine if there was a controlled drug?
I performed series of tests including presumptive color test, gas chromatography, mass spectrometry, and Fourier transformation impaired spectroscopy.
Can you explain the methodologies and equipment you used during the test?
The presumptive color test provides an initial indication of the substance. Is used to separate and identify the components of substance based on their mass and charge. Identifies chemical compounds by their inferred spectra.
Were the tests you performed recognized and validated methods in forensic chemistry?
Yes, all the tests I perform are internationally recognized and validated methods in forensic chemistry.
What were the results of your analysis?
The analysis revealed that the substance contained methamphetamine hydrochloride, commonly known as Rami.
Based on your analysis, what substance did you identify and what is its classification under the section 11 of RA 9165?
The substance was identified as methamphetamine hydrochloride, classified as a dangerous drug under section 11 of RA 9165. How
certain are you of your findings and what quality control measures do you have in place to ensure accuracy?
I am highly certain of my findings. We have stringent quality control measures, including calibrations of instrument, use of controls standard, and peer review of professor.
Did you prepare a report of your findings? If so, is this a true and accurate copy of the report?
Yes, I prepared a report of my findings. This presented document is true and accurate copy of the report.
Can you describe how the evidence was handled from the time you completed your analysis until it was returned or returned or stored?
After completing the analysis, the evidence was sealed, labeled, and returned to the evidence custodian with proper document of the chain of the custody.
Are there records documenting each stage of handling the evidence?
Yes, there are details in the record documenting every stage of handling the evidence from receipt to the final storage.
In your professional, was the integrity of the evidence maintained throughout the process?
Yes, the integrity of the evidence was maintained through the entire process.
In your expert opinion, based on your analysis, does the substance in question fall under the prohibited or regulated drugs as defined in RA 9165?
Yes, based on my analysis, the substance methamphetamine hydrochloride, which classified as a prohibited drug under RA 9165.
Can you explain how the quality and purity of the substance are relevant under Section 11 of RA 9165?
Under Section 11, the penalties for the possession of dangerous drugs vary based on quality. quantity higher, quantity is unresolved, and worse, the purity of the substance can also impact the charges of the sentence.
Are there any potential sources of error or contamination that could have affected your analysis? How do you mitigate this risk?
Potential sources of error include contaminating and disturbing malfunction. To mitigate this risk, we follow strict protocols, use free and collaborate equipment, and perform regular maintenance and quality checks.
Do you have any final statements or conclusions regarding the analysis and findings of the substance involved in this case?
My conclusion is that the substance in question is confirmed to be methamphetamine hydrochloride, and all the proper procedures were followed to ensure accuracy and integrity of the analysis.
That will be all for the direct testimony of the expert witness, Your Honor.
For the defense, please proceed to the cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Villa, when did Mr. Soliano presented the evidence?
The evidence was given to me on November 10, 2023, exactly 8 o'clock a.m.
In the morning?
Yes.
Okay. How did you examine the evidence to identify if those were methamphetamine hydrochloride?
I am run some precautionary measure to make sure not following the evidence that I am some tests like chemical detection test and its speed make the fact that the evidence gathered by Steve Solano were positive from the evidence.
Okay. What did you do after the examination of the evidence?
After I found out the evidence is positive, then I identified the Steve Solano was about it.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Counsel for the defense, you may now call your one witness. Court interpreter, please swear in the witness.
Mr. Witness, please raise your right hand. Do you, Mr. Arthur, yourself swear that the evidence that you believe is the case now contained to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Defense, what is the purpose of the testimony of the witness?
Well, Honorable Judge, the purpose of presenting the series to identify if there are or there is a major sedative during the search.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Witness, can you please state us your name, age, and where do you live?
My name is Matthew Rosel. I am 22 years old. I live in Lapu-Lapu City.
So, is that true that you've been serving as barangay tanod for 15 years now?
Yes.
Okay. So, during the search of the house of Mr. Lubad, where were you? Where were you? Mr. Marco, where were you at the time of the search?
I am with the police officer with who conducted the search.
Okay. During the search, were you able to see any media representative?
No, there is no media representative.
So, after the Mr. Marco, after the search, the police officer stated there that they were able to see or to gather 3 sachets of Mr. Marco, after the search that was conducted of Mr. Soliano, is that true that there were 3 sachets of alleged methamphetamine hydrochloride or known as chocolate?
Yes.
No further questions here.
Good day, Mr. Rosell.
Good day, attorney.
For the purpose of this cross-examination, may I refer to you as Mr. Witness?
Yes. You may attend.
How long have you been serving in a barangay tannery?
I have been serving as a barangay attendant for 5 years.
What specific training have you received regarding your duties as a barangay tannery?
Yeah, I received training on community policy related law enforcement procedure and the proper protocol for witnessing official activities as research.
Were you briefed on the proper procedure for witnessing a search?
Yes, I was briefed by our barangay captain during our training session.
On what date and time did the search take place?
The search took place in November 9, 2023 at around 2 p.m.
How were you notified about the search and who informed you?
I was notified by our barangay captain who received a call from the police requesting a barangay attendant at the witness of search.
Can you describe your role and responsibilities during the search?
My role was to witness the search and ensure the officer conducted it according to the legal procedure. I was there to observe the letter to the legitimacy of the search.
You mentioned there was no media present during the search. How do you know there was no media present?
I was present throughout the entire search and did not see anything media personnel at camera around.
Is it difficult for the media to be present during such searches in your experiences?
In my experience, media presence is not typical.
Is it difficult for the media to be present during such searches in your experience?
In my experience, media presence is not typical during police searches unless in a high-profile case.
Were there any other third-party witnesses present during the search?
Yes, there's a third-party witnesses present during the search.
You stated you observed all procedures during the search. Can you detail the steps that were taken from the moment you arrived?
Upon arrival, the officer presented the search warrant to the homeowner. They explained the purpose of the search, secured the place, and proceeded to search the house and totally it.
Did the officers present you with a search warrant before the search began?
Yes, they showed me the search warrant and explained their plan before starting the search.
Were you given the opportunity to read and understand the search warrant?
Yes, I read the search warrant and confirmed that it was valid and properly authorized.
You mentioned that all the actions taken were legal. What specific actions are you referring to?
I am referring to the officer presenting the search warrant, explaining the procedure, and conducting the search in orderly and respectful manner without causing unnecessary damage.
How do you determine whether the actions taken during the search were legal?
Based on my training and
How do you determine whether the actions taken during the search were legal?
based on my training and experience, I know the legal procedure for conducting a search. The officer adhered to this procedure, including showing the search warrant and explaining their action.
Were there any actions during the search that you found unusual or concerning?
No, I did not observe any action that were unusual or concerning during the search.
Can you describe the specific locations within the house where the search was conducted?
The search was conducted in the first floor, living room, kitchen, bathroom, and bedroom of the house.
Were any items moved or restored during the search? If
Yes.
so, what was the reason given by officers?
Yes, some furniture and personal items were moved to check for hidden compartment. Officer explained they were looking for drugs and illegal items.
Did you witness the exact moment the drugs were found? Can you describe that moment?
Yes, I was in the room when the officer found the drugs hidden inside the black shoe box on the top of the dresser. They immediately documented the find and showed it to me.
Were you asked to sign documents or statements about the search? If so, what were they?
Yes, I was asked to sign a document that confirmed my presence and that I witnessed the search procedure being followed.
Did you take any notes or make reports regarding what you observed during the search?
I did not take notes myself, but I provide a verbal report to our barangay captain afterward.
Were any photographs or videos taken during the search? And if so, by whom?
Yes, the police officer took a photograph of the search and the evidence they found.
How did accused react during the search?
The accused was cooperative but appeared anxious during the search.
Did you observe any communication between the officer and the accused? If so, what was discussed?
Yes. The officer explained the purpose of the search to the accused and informed him of his rights.
Was the accused given the opportunity to observe the search and did they raise any objections?
Yes, the accused was allowed to observe the search. He did not raise any objection during the process.
After the search, what actions were taken by the police officers and yourself?
After the search, the officer documented the evidence, secured it, and made the necessary paperwork. I confirmed the procedure and signed the document as a witness.
Were the seized items documented and secured in your presence?
Yes, the seed items were documented and secure while I was present.
Did you accompany the officer when they left the premises? If not, why?
Yes, I accompanied the officer to ensure the proper procedure were followed until the search was Yes, I accompanied the officer to ensure the proper procedure were followed until the search was fully concluded.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, witness is discharged. Any request from the witness?
No request.
Is there any objection from the prosecution?
No objections, Your Honor.
Anything else from the defense?
None, Your Honor. Defense rests its case.
Premises considered. With all the witness, testimonies, and piece of evidence formally offered in this court, this case shall be submitted for the resolution. The court is